If you want to see what trash baseball looks like, look no further than, unfortunately, my Seattle Mariners. Last night is another epic example of how bad this team can be and how we're not mentally in the game. We're not thinking the game. We're not prepared to play. Here, we're going to have a base runner getting caught red handed, dead in his tracks, but no throw over. Big lead, big lead. Dead in his tracks right there. Look at Ty France blowing a bubble, chewing bubble gum, not ready for the play. So I'm guessing maybe because he's blowing a bubble, he's not able to tell his pitcher, hey, step off, throw me the fucking ball. The base runner's dead to rights right here. Again, Ty France, you got to be better. He's just sitting there chilling like he doesn't have a job to do. What are we doing? If there's a guy on base, especially on first, your job is to let the pitcher know, hey, he's going, step off. But he's just blowing bubbles, chilling, doing his thing, hands on his knees, not prepared for a throw to first. Unacceptable baseball. And these are the things that cost you runs. So you think, oh, okay, that's all right. Just focus on the batter. Well, this is what happens. Later on in the at bat, we forget how many times we're allowed to throw over now. There's a new rule. You can't keep throwing over the first base and trying to pick someone off. We go later into the at bat. He runs out of his attempts. He throws it a third time, and it's a balk. Move the runner to second. Time, that's a balk. Runner goes to second. Just piss poor baseball. Coaching needs to be better. We can't be forgetting how many times we throw to first, guys. Very next pitch, what happens? Base hit, left center field. The run scores, and we're in the shitter. See, it's the little stuff. It's the little stuff. This is a guy that should have been picked off, a guy that you put on the second with a balk, and then because of that, you allow him to get scored on a base hit, which happens. That's the way baseball goes. And these are the kinds of things that, unfortunately, if you're a winning baseball team, you don't make mistakes like that. This is coaching. This is not being there mentally. Poor baseball. Earlier on in the first inning, another example of just how bad we are defensively. Jorge Polanco gets a freaking can of corn, bobbles it at second base, allowing the runner to get on. Again, just there's something we need to start talking about the potential curse that's happening with the Mariners right now with second baseman. Every second baseman we get from whatever team in any scenario, for some reason they come to Seattle and they have the worst seasons of their career. Jorge Polanco has been terrible defensively, and on top of that, not all that great at the bat either. That's a play that's got to be made. And this is just an example of bad luck. George Kirby's going to throw him out of the strike zone here, down low. Look at the placement on that pitch, out of the strike zone low, and he just golfs it out for a freaking home run, making it a 3-0 game. They went on to score 5. And another thing I want to mention about this team, when I was watching them, I swear to God, they get down early in games because that's what they do. They never start off hot right now. They get down 3-0, 4-0, 5-0. And it's like, oh, it's over. It's over. It could be the third inning and it's 4-0. And I'm automatically know, oh, this game's over. We're not going to come back. Like there's no soul in this team. I'm going to get on my high horse here because if you're a Mariners fan, especially, this whole next segment is for you. Because there's a lot of bullshit being spewed about this team, and we need to address all of it. The Mariners right now are 4-8, dead last place in the standings in the American League West. Everybody is better than us right now. And here's the problem. First of all, the Seattle Mariners are not a team that has the luxury to punt baseball games. I want to make that very clear. When people are saying, oh, you know, it's early in the season. It's a small sample size. It's okay that we're losing. If you were to go back and look at all the seasons the Seattle Mariners have missed the playoffs, how many times have we missed the playoffs by 5 games or less? How many times? I think last season was like less than 3 games that we missed the playoffs by. We are not a team that has the luxury to punt baseball games. We are not the Dodgers. We are not the Yankees. We are not the Braves. We cannot lose games and be like, oh, it's okay. Every game counts at the highest level. The next point I want to make, it's not a small sample size. 13 games is not a small sample size. After today, there's a good chance we're going to be 4-9. through our first 13 games. Very good chance. That's not a small sample size, guys. 13 games. Imagine, let's pretend for a second that each 10 game stretch represented a week. Like NFL season's what, 16, 17 weeks? And baseball season's 162 games. So let's pretend, okay, if we're through 13 games, so let's pretend it was an NFL season and we played week 1 and we got fucking smoked. And now we are about a third of the way through week 2 in the second game, and we're still getting fucking smoked, and we looked just as shitty. You would absolutely be saying to yourself, no, this is not good. This is not good. Things need to change. Even though it's early, you would still say we're in trouble because every single game is going to count at the end of the year, whether you like it or not. And the problem is, unfortunately, this team right now, this team is very dependent on our pitching. We are not going to be a slug it out, high scoring, high flying offensive team. We are very dependent on having one of the best, if not the best, pitching rotation in all of baseball. So if our pitching is not dominant, we already have zero chance of making the playoffs and being a good team this year. We might not even be 500. If this pitching staff is not dominant, understand what I'm saying. They don't have to be good. They have to be dominant for this team to be a good team. And they're not. And that's a problem. Let's look at the offense. Right now, our team batting average is 211, ranked number 26 in the whole league right now. 26. We are one of the worst hitting teams in baseball. At our peak, at the highest level, I think the Seattle Mariners would be an average hitting team at best. That's it. That's it. Like if everybody was performing at the level that we think they can, or even slightly above, we're getting like the best performance out of everybody. Average offense at best. For this team to be good, we have to have a dominant pitching staff and an average offense. How far away are we from that? Very far. Is the season over? I would say no, but it is 100% panic time. It is 100% hold people accountable time. It is 100% time to make changes in the lineup, in the rotation, possibly trades, possibly people being called up and sent down. We are in that space because being 5 games under 500 after today, we're going to need another 10, 13 game stretch to then be above 500, where we need to be, 9-4. Is that going to happen with this team? I'm not sure. I'm not convinced. It's going to be a tough season. I'm going to keep breaking it down. I hope they prove me wrong. The season's not over, but they're in rough shape. They're in rough shape. It's going to be tough to get out of this. We'll see what happens. Thank you guys for your time. I'll see you in my next breakdown.